A shooting at an elementary school in San Bernardino, California. Why police are calling the incident a murder-suicide.
The first-year players are preparing for their show in Goldstein Auditorium.
Weather today here in Syracuse. You can see the sun behind me. Lots of students out and about today enjoying the great weather. But how long is it going to last? Find out on my forecast. Citrus TV News begins right now.
Citrus TV News live at 6. Your campus news leader.
2 adults are dead and 2 students are critically injured after a school shooting in San Bernardino, California. Good evening, I'm Amico.
And I'm Meghan Mistry. According to local police, the shooter started at 10:30 local time this morning inside a classroom of the North Park Elementary School.
Police are calling the shooting a murder-suicide as the gunman turned the gun on himself after killing a female teacher.
Reports say the 2 students were transported to a hospital, but the extent of their injuries is not yet known. Well, the summer-like weather is in full swing on this April Monday.
The Citrus Cam was outside today where students were enjoying the 80-degree high temperature all around campus.
On the quad, students tossed the frisbee, studied, and relaxed on their blankets with some dogs.
The campus experienced some of the most clear and warm weather in months. Jack Watson's here to tell us more about the early summer conditions. Jack?
Thanks a lot, guys. I'm filling in for Rebecca tonight. Great to be here on this beautiful Monday evening, and a beautiful Monday it was, as we can see with our current temperatures in and around the area. It's looking like pretty much low to mid-70s here, Syracuse 74, Cortland 71, Ithaca 74, out here in Rochester by Lake Ontario 74 as well. You might be thinking, did I wake up this morning in July? Well, not so fast. We are still in April. Our current conditions on campus, 74 degrees right now. Still sunny, a bit cloudy though, and it's looking like summer came early at first glance, but as we're going to see with our forecast coming up soon, that's not going to last long. I'll be with it on my full forecast when Citrus TV News returns. Guys?
1 fish, 2 fish, red fish, big fish? This year, first-year players performing the larger-than-life show Big Fish. The musical tells the outrageous story of Edward Bloom through the eyes of his skeptical son, Will. Performances will be held Thursday through Saturday in Goldstein Auditorium. Tickets are currently on sale in the Shine box office for $3 with an SUID or $5 without. Cast member Will DeVito says he's excited to make his FYP debut.
People should come see this show because it honestly delves deep into a relationship between 2 people. There's a lot of larger-than-life aspects. We have giants, we have werewolves, we have a circus, we have a USO show. There's a lot of big, over-the-top, exciting, energetic moments in this show that really makes it enjoyable.
Syracuse police and DPS have arrested a man who they say was acting suspiciously. Several women said that a man approached them and asked unusual questions for a survey he was conducting. The arrest came after authorities received a suspicious person's notification. Good news for middle-class students in public colleges and universities in New York. A new state budget approved on Sunday includes a tuition initiative that is set to make public colleges and universities free for students whose families earn less than $125,000. The plan is proposed by Governor Cuomo and is estimated to cost taxpayers $163 million. Before you get your hopes up, Syracuse is not becoming a public university. Former journalist Juan Thompson pled not guilty today to charges that he made threats against New York Jewish centers. Prosecutors say Thompson claimed he had placed 2 bombs in a Jewish school and was, quote, eager for a Jewish Newtown. Thompson is being held without bail in Manhattan.
Christine Joles will be the speaker for the 3rd Paul Volcker Lecture in Behavioral Economics. Joles is a professor at Yale Law School and director of the Law and Economics program at the National Bureau of Economic Research. She'll speak on behavior economics in terms of U.S. legal policy. A teenager drowned in a swimming pool at a suburban Buffalo hotel last night. Authorities say the 18-year-old was swimming with a group of people at the Millennium Hotel. Police say he died before he was pulled from the water and taken to the nearby hospital. The victim's name has not yet been released, and the cause of the drowning is still under investigation.
Coming up, the Supreme Court has 9 justices for the first time in over a year. What President Trump said about the newly confirmed Justice Neil Gorsuch.
Victims of yesterday's Palm Sunday terrorist attack in Egypt are laid to rest. That and more when Citrus TV News continues.
Looking for these? You drive buzzed. It could be one very expensive ride.
First, you gotta make bail. Then pay me to get your car back.
Your insurance premiums will go through the roof.
And my legal fees just keep adding up. All told, it could end up costing you $10,000.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you, freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it. It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
This is the story of a boy who didn't talk for a long time. The boy liked things to always be the same. Any changes would scare and upset him. The unknown was an unfriendly place. The boy was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. He wasn't trying to be mean, it just made him feel uncomfortable. Sometimes he would flap his arms again and again.
One day I found out I have something called autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I found my voice and learned all the ways I could live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
If you see news happening on campus, in Syracuse, or across the nation, call the Citrus TV newsroom, 315-443-1177, or tweet at Citrus TV News, your campus news leader.
The Supreme Court has 9 justices for the first time in nearly 14 months.
Today, Chief Justice Roberts and Justice Kennedy swore Neil Gorsuch in as the nation's 113th Supreme Court justice.
Gorsuch was confirmed last Thursday after Senate Republicans enacted the so-called nuclear option to end a Democratic filibuster.
President Trump praised the 49-year-old justice as someone who will rule fairly and issue objective readings of the law.
Our country is counting on you to be wise, impartial, and fair, to serve under our laws, not over them, and to safeguard the right of the people to govern their own affairs.
Dylan Roof pleaded guilty to state murder charges in court today. He was then given 9 consecutive life sentences in state prison.
The plea will prevent families of the victims from having to undergo a second trial before Roof's execution on federal hate crime and related charges.
Before the sentencing, Roof heard impact statements from members of the Emmanuel AME Church in Charleston, South Carolina. They described the tolls his actions have taken on their community.
The governor of the state of Alabama has resigned just before the state began impeachment trials.
Governor Robert Bentley has been accused of abusing his power by using state law enforcement to intimidate staffers and hide an affair with a former advisor.
Bentley is the 3rd Alabama governor in the last 30 years to be convicted of a crime. He was booked this evening at Montgomery County Jail and is scheduled for a court appearance within the hour.
He resigned after members of the House, Senate, and the Alabama Republican Party asked him to step down.
Today, I have a difficult task, and one I never in a million years thought I would have to shoulder. But as Speaker of the Alabama House, it is time for me to ask Governor Bentley to resign from office and put this matter behind us.
Wells Fargo's board of directors is blaming an aggressive sales culture for the bank's recent scandal over millions of unauthorized accounts.
The board is blaming the bank's senior management for creating this competitive environment. Employees created nearly 2 million checking and credit accounts without customers' approval in order to meet unrealistic sales goals.
The bank has already paid $185 million in fines and remains under investigation in some states.
Victims of yesterday's terrorist attacks in Egypt were buried earlier today.
Islamic State suicide bombers killed at least 45 people in attacks on Palm Sunday services in Alexandria and the Nile Delta city of Tanta.
President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi declared a state of emergency following the attack. The Palm Sunday attacks were the single deadliest day for Christians in decades.
Coming up, one South Campus bus driver has turned his passion into an annual event. Gabriella Knutson takes you inside the Poetry Bash.
And coming up later in sports, Connor Federico tells us about a new #1 team on the Hill. All that and more. Stay tuned.
Got pre-diabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have pre-diabetes. Big time.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice, single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
You've messed up your son's haircut.
Mom?
Do you A, try to fix it?
Like it never happened.
B, work with what you got? Or C, show solidarity?
Thank you, babe.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Fancy pants peanut butter? A big screen television? You haven't even bought a sofa yet. A motorcycle? When your father finds out, he's gonna flip his shoes with 2 buckles? What do you even need 2 buckles for? Mr. Big Shot, buying whiskey shots for everybody in the bar. From the looks of it, I'd say nobody even remembers. Feed the pig.
From the Citrus TV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
Well, guys, after today's 80-degree high, it's looking like we're back on the Syracuse spring roller coaster of temperatures here. It's going to be 69 degrees tomorrow, and then a serious drop here as we take a look. 47 degrees on Wednesday, and then moving back up a little bit, 55 degrees on Thursday. These are, of course, projected highs. Friday, 61. Saturday, all the way back up to 68, but that won't come without a consequence, though, as there will be some PM showers on Saturday. Today's weather here got up to 80 degrees. As we mentioned before, these summer-like temperatures coming in for temporary time, and they're quickly moving away as we saw before. Our radar here, we can see in the overnight hours here, not too affected, and so the green and yellow here, that means that there's going to be some isolated thunderstorms as we will see with tonight's forecast. A little bit cloudy, 57 degrees, a major drop in temperature as we can see, and there is rain moving in as we saw before. Now, the National Weather Service has issued a flood warning. They have predicted minor flooding. We can see moderate here, our moderate prediction for areas that are close to Lake Onondaga, mainly the harbor, as we can see. Now, it's going to last until about 11 a.m. on Thursday. And that brings us into our Citrus TV 5-day forecast. Now, Tuesday, 69 degrees, scattered thunderstorms, the story there. Clouds on Wednesday, and it's going to drop 35 degrees the low that day, and that's as low as it's going to get. But Thursday, we can see some progression. It's getting a little bit higher, as we can see with our high of 55 degrees. Sunny and warm, 61 degrees on Friday, and an increase in temperature on Saturday, but that does not come without a cost, however, as it will be 68 degrees, but with some PM thunderstorms. So as we could see, the roller coaster really taking full effect here with some 80-degree temperatures today, low temperatures in the middle of the week, and then going right back up for the weekend.
So you mentioned those higher temperatures today especially. Will we be able to see that later next week or even more often this spring?
Well, next week it's going to taper off a little bit into the 50s and 60s consistently. So enjoy the weekend while you can. That's what I would say because of that 68-degree high. All
right. Well, thank you very much. A poetry-singing South Campus bus driver has expanded his following as he hosts the 6th annual Poetry Bash.
Citrus TV reporter Gabriella Knutson explores the success of the event.
It's National Poetry Month in Syracuse, and Syracuse University's eccentric bus driver Mickey Mahan, aka the Flying Busman, hosted the 6th annual Poetry Bash. The Poetry Bash at the Petite Branch Library on Saturday brought together over 80 people from the nearby community. Everyone is encouraged to hoot, holler, and wear a funny hat.
Well, I think it went absolutely fabulously. I mean, it's the best one yet. We had a standing room only crowd. We made a lot of noise. There was paper airplanes all over the joint, right? We almost blew the roof off. Next year we're going to try for that. But it was a total success and a tremendous amount of fun.
The 6th annual Poetry Bash is proud to accommodate people of all ages and welcomes people to just sit there and listen or come up and recite their own poems or ones that they find in the library. The Poetry Bash is also filled with cookies, juice, pogo sticks, and a whole lot of noise. This year's Poetry Bash brought in people of all ages, ranging from 4 to 94.
My mom asked if I wanted to put my name in there. I said no, but then I said yes later. There was a lot of people with other poems, and I thought if they could do it, why can't I?
This brings everybody together. I mean, people love it, and they can do any kind of poetry they want to. People come from all over the city, the university neighborhood.
With the event of the Poetry Bash, the Flying Busman brings excitement and laughter into the library during National Poetry Month.
It's just about having fun, and anybody can participate in that. So that's the goal and the motivation, is to have fun.
Gabriella Knutson, CitrusTV.
Well, the Poetry Bash brought some good news, but there's some bad news for travelers heading on the road for Easter weekend. Gas prices have taken a huge jump as spring travel leads to an increased demand for gasoline. This is also the time of year where refineries make the switch to more expensive summer blend gasoline. The national average price for gasoline is now $2.40 per gallon, which is up 9 cents from just last week. The suspected leader in a fake phone call scam has been arrested. Sagar Thakur was arrested in the city of Mumbai in India on Saturday. The scheme involved fake phone calls made by Thakur and his teammates to U.S. taxpayers, where the callers posed as IRS agents. The callers told the taxpayers they still owed taxes and could be arrested or deported if they didn't pay. About 15,000 Americans fell for the scheme, which started in October.
I actually got called by that guy a few weeks ago. Tesla's stock rose over 3.5% this morning to make the company the most valuable car maker in America. The rise in stock price raised Tesla's market cap to $51 billion, which is $1.7 billion more than GM as of 9:30 this morning. This rise makes Tesla the 6th most valuable car company in the world, and it needs only about $1 billion more to take 5th place from Honda. There's a brand of sedatives that is associated with an increase in pneumonia for people with Alzheimer's. People who have Alzheimer's are 30% more likely to contract pneumonia when taking the drug benzodiazepines, according to the Canadian Medical Association Journal. The study said there is an increase in hospital admittance due to pneumonia and a subsequent increase in pneumonia-related deaths for people with Alzheimer's. A new merger could bring a faster mobile network to your phone sometime soon. AT&T has agreed to buy Straight Path Communications for $1.25 billion in an all-stock deal. Straight Path is one of the largest holders of millimeter wave spectrum in the country. Millimeter wave spectrum is expected to be a massive role in the upcoming 5G networks being developed by telecommunications. Stocks in other telecom providers rose as the market expects more mergers to come.
Coming up in sports, we have highlights from a big win for Syracuse women's lacrosse. You'll hear from Sergio Garcia after his big win at the Masters, and the U.S., Mexico, and Canada are all getting along. In soccer, that is. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Adventure can be found anywhere, but the best place to start is in the forest.
I spy something beginning with S.
Snow.
No.
Snow-covered trees.
Nothing to do with snow.
Head outside to discover incredible animals and beautiful plants that come together to create an unforgettable adventure.
Wow.
So grab your loved ones.
Don't even.
And explore a world of possibilities.
Come on, this way.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find the closest forest or park to you.
And now, your Citrus TV Sports Report.
Welcome back. I'm Connor Federico. For the 97th time in Syracuse lacrosse history, the Orange is the top-ranked team in the country. SU sat in the number 2 spot in both the Inside Lacrosse and Coaches poll last week, but is now the undisputed number 1 after Penn State's loss to Maryland over the weekend. The Orange hope to keep that number 1 ranking in its game tomorrow against in-state rival Cornell. On the women's lacrosse side, the Orange aren't number 1, but its play over the last couple of weeks has been as good as any team in the country. 11th-ranked Syracuse played host to number 15 Virginia Tech yesterday afternoon, and it was just a beautiful day outside at SU Soccer Stadium. Senior day ceremony, and early on in this one, it would be a goal here by Emily Harishuk. She puts Syracuse on the board. It's 3-2 at that point, but Virginia Tech, they had a 6-4 lead at that half, and it was Emma Harding who scores there. Syracuse, they wouldn't stay down though. Resiliency, the theme this entire season. Emily Harishuk again, but Virginia Tech still leads 7-6, and now they have an opportunity. It's Christine Lascazo who puts it away. Bottom left corner, Hokies lead 8-6. Now Syracuse still trying to find a way back. Riley Donahue passes into Devin Parker. She scores. It's 9-8. And now, with a few seconds left in the game, Syracuse fouls. They're up by 1 goal at this point. And now, really quickly, Taylor Caskey, 4 seconds left. She puts it in. But Syracuse, they'll go to overtime. Mary Rahal, the overtime winner. Syracuse wins 12-11. The theme this year, resiliency. Gary Gate and the players backed that up after the game.
We didn't really get going until the second half, and slow start, but our kids never gave up and they kept battling and came out with the win.
I think at halftime we were like, we're a better team than this. We got to play harder than we did in the first half.
The team stepped up all across the field, defensive end, offensive end.
Now on to the Diamond. Syracuse softball lost 3 games against top-ranked Florida State. The Orange dropped the first game of the series 19-9 Saturday afternoon, then was mercy ruled out of the first game of Sunday's doubleheader, losing 13-4. However, SU put up a fight in the final game of the weekend. The Orange took the Seminoles down to the wire, but still lost 6-5. After the losses, Syracuse drops to 19-15 on the season and an abysmal 3-9 in conference play. In other Orange news, a Syracuse track runner is entering the record books for the 110-meter hurdles event. Freddie Critterton ran the 3rd fastest time in the world for 2017 with a mark of 13.42 seconds. With Saturday's accomplishment, Critterton now holds the SU all-time record, edging out Jared Eaton's previous record by 2/100ths of a second. And moving on to golf, this year's Masters tournament delivered all the great action and drama that fans could have asked for. Sergio Garcia and Justin Rose battled for the championship throughout the weekend and into Sunday, and 72 holes just wasn't enough. Then, with all the pressure on him, Garcia birdied the first playoff hole on 18 to win his first ever major championship.
I could feel the energy from the crowd and everything. It felt like everybody was just so looking forward to that moment. Not only myself and my whole group, my whole team, but everybody around that green. It felt like they were just waiting for that to happen.
Congrats to Sergio. He's both an English and Spanish speaker, and you might have to be too if you want to catch 2026 World Cup action. U.S. Soccer announced today that they've teamed up with Canada and Mexico, submitting a joint bid to host the beautiful game's most prestigious event. If that surprises you based on the current political situation between the U.S. and Mexico, the president of the U.S. Soccer says he has the support of the President of the United States.
We have the full support of the United States government in this project. The President of the United States is fully supportive and encouraged us to have this joint bid. He is especially pleased that Mexico is part of this bid. And that's in the last few days we've gotten further encouragement on that.
And after a week of playing on the road, the Yankees finally got back to the Bronx today. The Bombers beat the Rays 8-1 on the shoulders of pitcher Michael Pineda, who took a perfect game bid all the way into the 7th inning. Aaron Judge, Starlin Castro, and Chase Headley all homered in New York's win.
All right, well, thank you very much, Connor. Coming up, we'll take one last look at your weather.
Citrus TV News will be back in 60 seconds.
Test you. Stand firm and move only when you hear the seatbelt click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course.
Maybe he's really focused.
Maybe he likes spinning the wheels.
Maybe he just loves trucks.
Preoccupation with objects is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. This is a serious problem, but one we can solve. Visit feedingamerica.org to help. Together we can solve hunger. Together we're feeding America.
As we can see with our Tuesday day planner here, 9 a.m. when you're getting up for classes, 62 degrees, then into noon, 6-degree improvement there, 68 degrees, and by 6 p.m. it is 65. There are scattered thunderstorms in the afternoon, but that could begin as early as 11 a.m., 12 p.m., and these warm temperatures are going to change into Wednesday, as we mentioned before, so do enjoy these warm 60-degree temperatures while you can.
Thank you. Here are 3 more things you need to know before we go.
President Trump has thanked the 2 Navy commanders who led last week's missile strikes in Syria. Commanders Russell Caldwell and Andrea Slout carried out the strike as a response to the chemical attack blamed on the Syrian government.
Trump thanked them for their professionalism and quick response to the situation.
And according to People magazine, Bradley Cooper and girlfriend Irina Shayk welcomed a child into their family just 2 weeks ago.
This is the first child for the pair. Although no word on whether it is a boy or a girl, no matter what, one could say Bradley Cooper now has a Mini Cooper.
And thousands attended Philadelphia's annual Cherry Blossom Festival over the weekend. This celebration of Japanese culture also represents a sign of friendship.
More than 90 years ago, the Japanese government gave the city 1,600 cherry trees to symbolize a strong bond between these two countries.
Well, those were 3 quick stories, all pretty interesting. I have to say I liked the Cooper joke.
The Cooper joke's pretty good. Whoever wrote that, thank you very much.
All right. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for joining us.
For News 24/7, follow us on Twitter at Citrus TV News and visit our website, citrustv.com. I'm Amico.
And I'm Meghan Mistry. Have a great night, Syracuse.